Hello and welcome back. If you would please put your palms together for a meditation reading. A true offering springs spontaneously from one's pure compassionate heart with no thought of any return and is accompanied by the wish of both giver and receiver to enter into a life of enlightenment together. Excerpt from the Mahaparinirvana Sutra. If you would please join me in Gasho. Namo Amidavas, Namo Amidavas, Namo Amidavas, Namandavas, Namandavas, Namandavas. When we hear the word generosity, we often, think about words like giving freely, abundance, bountiful, charitable, unselfish. And there are many other words that one may come up for the word generosity. Writer Mackay Albert wrote an article called Generosity, Losing a Little Means Gaining a Lot, including better heart health. And it was written in December of 2024. In his description, he posed a question. Want to lower blood pressure and reduce stress? And the answer was, science says, be generous. There was a study published in the journal Health Psychology that described acts of generosity can trigger a stream of calming, feel-good hormones such as oxytocin, it's a hormone which reduces stress and reduces pressure on arteries and veins. In this study, researchers asked more mature adults with high blood pressure to spend money on others over 3 weeks. The results were very impressive. The participants who spent the money on others, their blood pressure dropped by magnitudes compared to those who started new medications, exercised regularly, or made major changes to their diet. Another study had participants do a simple, generous act, such as writing a supportive letter to a friend who was preparing and delivering a speech. Those generous participants, or letter writers, had shown fewer stress-related symptoms than the control group. They had smaller systolic blood pressure. Systolic blood pressure is the top number in blood pressure readings. This systolic reading shows the force or pressure with which the heart pumps blood into the arteries. So, having smaller systolic blood pressure also alleviated the cardiovascular stress response. Also, these generous sharing participants had a lower level of, salivary alpha amylase. That's an enzyme linked to the fight or flight response. You don't have to remember all these words. But generosity often stems from altruism. Altruism is an unselfish act or selflessness. It is a selfless motivation for the well-being of others. And it's also a deep human act for others' benefit without, that's a big word, without expecting anything in return. In Buddhism, we call this dana. Abigail Marsh, a neuroscientist and expert on altruism, states that altruistic people are less sensitive to negative emotions. These generous people have a reduced responsiveness to anger. Giving, sharing with others can have another benefit. Yes, relief from pain. A paper published in PNAS, Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, show that generous behavior reduces pain receptors and even improves pain tolerance. An example, a blood donor reported feeling less discomfort during the needle prick compared to those having blood drawn for medical reasons. In this paper, the writers wrote of another study, how cancer patients practice helping other cancer patients for 3 weeks. This included maybe preparing a meal or cleaning public spaces within the hospital. The results were astonishing. It showed that the helping patients reported clinically significant reduction in their chronic pain levels, with improvements observed over several weeks. Marsh explains that there was a region of the brain that lights up during pleasure experiences. You know, and that's like having a slice of pie or achievement of a goal. There's that region of the brain that lights up. She concludes that the act of incurring or experiencing personal costs to help others may supplement or enhance current pain therapy and promote the welfare of those suffering from chronic pain. Generosity, no matter of its simplicity, is a Buddhist teaching. If you would please join me in Gasho. Namo Amidas, Namo Amidas, Namo Amidas, Namo Amidas. Part 2 will be neuroscience of selfless generosity. And thank you for listening.